we like being introduced, to be honest with you, because when it's just a small show like me and Tony, I think the introduction is a very important bit, because it's not like a theatre show where people, actors come on. It's an important thing where people go, Ian and Tony. I love it when they introduce you and they go, Ian McMillan, and you go, hey, that's me. But it can backfire, because me and Tony visit a lot of schools. We had a lovely time this afternoon in the school, but recently I went to a school in Newark, because they've got one now, and they rang me up. Some places don't get that one, I won't name names. Hinkley. They rang me up and they said, we're going to meet off the state train at Newark Northgate Station at 9:30. So I got off the train, and there's only me got off, and there's one person waiting. And I thought, well, she's come to meet me. So I went up to her and I said, hello, in a friendly fashion, as you do. And she looked straight through me. I thought, oh, sorry, miss, it's the wrong person. And I'm stood there looking nervous, and she stood there looking at her watch. And I thought, well, she's obviously come to meet me. So I went up to her and I said, are you expecting Ian McMillan? And she went, yes. And I said, it's me. And she went, oh. That was her exact word, oh, and she looked me up and down like my mum does, and she went, you're nothing like your photo. I said, oh, well, it's an old picture, can't be helped. I wish I was making this up, but I'm not. And we get in the car, and we're going towards the school, and she's going, I can't get over, I literally like your photo. I said, oh, well. And then she said, you can't drive, can you? And I said, no. And she said, how do you get about? I said, buses and trains. And she said, yes, but surely you must sometimes fly. And I said, not from Newark to Barnsley, no. And she didn't laugh, which was a bad sign. As we're approaching the school, I wish I was making this up. As we're approaching the school, she says, look, I'm introducing you to the kids. Let's just get this straight before you start. How many novels have you written? And I said, none. And she said, that explains it. And we get in the school, there's a big photograph of somebody else. And he says, welcome, Ian McMillan. She went, that's not you. I said, no. She said, that explains it. It turns out there's another Ian McMillan, who was an American novelist, and she thought I was him. And she got this book out of him, and she went, you didn't write this? I said, no. She said, that explains it. She kept saying, that explains it. On the back of the book, it says, Ian McMillan teaches at the University of Hawaii. And she said, we couldn't work out, and he taught in Hawaii and lived in Barnsley. And I said, yes. It's at least 3 buses you have to change at Rotherham. She said, the trouble is, all the kids have read your book, and they've got some questions to ask. And I said, it's all right, I'll answer them. And it was the best half hour of my life. They're saying things like, how long does it take to write a book? I'm saying 20 minutes. And they're saying, what are they about? I'm saying, well, cheese, if you look hard enough. That's an example of a bad start, unlike this, which is a good start. Another bad start that I had recently was this school in Cheshire rang up. They went, right, we've had a competition, and the prize is that you come along and do us a thing. I said, great, and do us a workshop. I said, yeah. He said, we're very excited that you're coming. I said, oh. She said, the music teacher, Mrs. Smith, has written a brand new fanfare, and when I introduce you, she's going to play it on the piano, and the recording group are going to play it. I said, fantastic. So we go to this school, they're going, we're very excited he's here. Please welcome one of Britain's leading poets, Mr. Ian Bland. And there was a moment of silence, then she went, woo, on the piano, and the recording group went, I says, I'm not Ian Bland. And she went, who are you? I went, Ian McMillan. She went, I never heard of you. I said, well, who's Ian Bland? She went, I've never heard of him either. And the thing was, every time she said Ian Bland, the woman went on the piano. And the kids went, I said, well, look, if I were called Ian Bland, I'd change my name to Ian Exciting or Ian Dynamic. So anyway, yes, so it's nice to have a nice start, which this is. Also, what's nice about tonight is that people know what they're going to. A cartoonist trivia with Ian and Tony, part of the Positive Images Festival. That's half the battle, people knowing what they come to. I want to show you 1 or 2 examples of publicity that me and Tony have had that hasn't been as good as tonight. Because often, quite a lot of the battle is just getting the publicity right, as you know. So, I did a performance at Melton Mowbray Library, which I do all the hotspots. It was part of the Melton Mowbray Comedy Festival. That was a long weekend, and this was their publicity. Funny point here. That was their entire publicity. And I got there, and I said, is that it? He said, no, there's one on the back door as well. I said, oh, good. And 3 people turned up, and one of them said, oh, we thought it might be you. I said, yes, that's the power of advertising. In fact, my smallest audience ever was -2. Well, that sounds been up for it's true. If you go up the M1 to Torrington Services, at the back of there's a village of Torrington. There's a pub there called the Sow and Pigs, where the Torrington Poetry Society meet, and I was their guest poet. And I got there, and there were 2 people in the audience, and they were the organisers. And they said, what happens is, we read our poems, then you do yours. I said, right. And they read theirs and went on. They said, we'd like to stay, but we can't. And I still read my poems to the empty room. Tragic, write that down. Because I've got loads of these. People say, what's this got to do with poetry? Well, it has, because once you've met me and Tony, you'll be sprinkled with a kind of magic dust. And when you go out, you'll see amazing things. Lincoln Central Library, old-fashioned library, big wooden desk, fantastic notice on the front that's kind of unfathomable. And it tells you a bit about life in Lincoln. It just says, it's very small, handwritten notice, just says, we do not supply washing up liquid. You think, well, what kind of library is that? 2 Catherine Cooksons and a bottle of squeezy, please. And I said to the woman, can I have that notice? And she said, I'll have to make another one. I said, that's all right, in your own time, not in the firm's time. I've always lived, and I still live in a place called Darfield, near Barnsley. Somebody said to me the other day, do you maintain a base in Barnsley? I said, yeah, I call it my house. Straight. But if you go from Barnsley to Huddersfield, you pass the wonderful main village of Skelmanthorpe, known locally as Shat, because there used to be stone shatterers. There's actually a taxi firm in Skelmanthorpe called Shat Taxis. That sounds like a terrible disease that none of us ever want to catch. Last time I was in Shat, I was in a chip shop. There was a girl behind the counter with a tattoo that said Rosie from Shat, and she's coming later on. And this, now she's here now, but you write that down. This is, me and Tony did a gig at Skelmanthorpe Youth Centre. This is their code of conduct. It's beautiful. No bullying, no smoking, no alcohol, no drugs, no fighting, no antisocial behaviour, no stealing, no swearing, respect everybody, speak to staff members if you've got any worries, help keep your club tidy, pay your subs, respect the building, football on the football court only, have fun. That's the best way, have fun. I'm sure you have fun. The great have fun in different colour, fantastic. Sometimes these notices are kind of unfathomable, you don't know what they mean, like, do not cover fire alarm with curtains. Doesn't make any sense to me either. Sometimes they're sad. This cupboard contains nothing valuable, only music. Sometimes they're really unfathomable. You know when somebody's lost a dog or a cat and they stick a notice on a tree or a lamppost? Me and Tony were down in Devon, not far from Oakhampton, a place called Sheepwatch, near a place called Beworthy. Between the 2 villages, 1 tree with this notice on it. That's strange. It just says, where can we go to watch people play badminton and eat our sandwiches? Yes. Where can we go? Where can we go? It's one of the great questions of our time. I like the way it says badminton with a thing round it like that, because though they know where to play tennis, but it's the badminton that's got them. And the thing is, they'll never know, because I've pinched the notice. They'll never know where it is. And where can we go? I don't know, that fella pinched the notice. I want to show you these. I've got loads of these. These 2 here. About the time of the millennium, when the lottery first started, there was a lot of money washing about for what they call the Millennium Fund. And a lot of village halls, me and Tony do a lot of gigs in village halls, got done up through the Millennium Fund. We were at a place called Ireby, not far from Bassenthwaite in the Lake District. They'd just had brand new village hall made. They said, can you use our new dressing rooms? I said, yes, the new dressing room. These 2 notices in the dressing rooms that are kind of strange. This one says, please do not close the curtains. I think, well, that's strange because it's a dressing room. And this one that says, please switch the stairs lights off. If you can read this, you've not switched them off. So I said, well, I've only ever been to the wrong school once. There were 2 schools next door to each other in Knutsford in Cheshire. And I always get there early. I walked in. I was supposed to at 10:30. I got there at 9:30. I walked in, they went, you're late. I said, really? They said, yeah, no time for intro, just start. So I'm reading my poems. And they normally get laughs, and nobody's laughing. And at the end of an hour, I stopped, and there was like desultory applause. And the teacher stood up and said, well, children, I can honestly say that's the most unusual talk we've ever had from the Cheshire Fire Brigade. Because I was in the wrong squad, I don't know where the fireman was, it must have been next door. These are strange poems, and why has he brought an axe? Where's the yellow hat? We normally get walkouts, don't we, Tony, not walk-ins? In every village hall, there's always an end-of-session checklist. And we found this in Perranporth Village Hall in Cornwall. It's beautiful, this. End-of-session checklist. 2, check heaters and cookers are turned off. 3, check electrical appliances are turned off. There's no number 1. There's not said to a woman, there's no number 1. She said, I've been coming here since 1984, I never noticed that. I'm stick with the points. Got loads of these. People say, I found this one, look, in a church in Norfolk. I like this because it's prescriptive. It just says, please place nothing on this piano. Not, do not place anything on this piano, but go and get some nothing and put it on the piano. Good job it was Norfolk, some say, but not me. Found that in a school. What kind of advice is that to give kids? Found that in a school. What kind of advice is that to give kids? Now, they don't normally get a laugh, do they, Tony? So we know it's going to go well tonight. You often wonder what is the important thing about life. And I found this in a church hall near Huddersfield. Tells you what's important in life. It is important to move the piano slowly over the grapes. That's what's important in life. I'm 62 years old. When I go through the door, I always use the doorknob or the handle. Me and Tony were up in North Yorkshire, a little village hall. It tells you how to open the door. It says, please close the door gently and quietly by using the doorknob. Who'd have thought of that? Who would have thought of that? Not me. Eh? Those clever people in North Yorkshire. When you leave tonight, I'm glad you're laughing. When you leave tonight, You'll see this kind of thing, you'll see it. What sometimes happens, though, is that when you collect these things, well, this is a strange one. Sheffield, Ecclesall Road, big road in Sheffield, Ecclesall Road, Methodist Church, a big wall inside with no windows or doors or nothing, a completely blank wall, except for this notice that says, have you asked if you can go under the arch? And there's no arch. There is no arch at all. Have you asked if you can go under it? There is no arch. Imagine if somebody walked in late now, they'd wonder what I was talking about, but you know what I'm talking about. So that's good. I've got my two favourites, my two very favourites. They are getting old and tatty, these notices, and what you could do actually is just print them out again and laminate them, but I like the fact that they are like ancient artefacts. Some of these are 20 odd years old, and I like the fact they're kind of beautiful. These are my two very favourites. This one is Grimsby Central Library Staff Room, and it tells you a bit about life in Grimsby. Imagine a staff room, quite a big staff room, a photocopier, a drink machine here, and this notice. It's falling to bits, but it don't matter. It just says, keep voices down, you can be heard in reference. So all these librarians going, does that fat bloke still come in? Shut up! They can hear you in reference. And this is another favourite. Again, from a library. Doncaster Central Library, staff toilets. And it makes you wonder what they eat, these librarians. And they've made it themselves with a computer. And it says, phew! Now use the air freshener and the toilet brush. The air freshener and the toilet brush. And I stole that from Doncaster Central Library years and years ago. And a few months ago, we were doing a gig in Doncaster, and the old chief librarian of Doncaster, Jill Johnson, was in the crowd. And she stood up and said, I wondered what happened to that note. Jill, I've got it. You can have it back, Jill. You can have it back, Mrs. You can have it back. So it is nice. It's a great start to the night. It's nice to keep writing this down. Great start to the night. It's nice to have proper publicity so people know what we're coming to. And me and Tony, like I said this afternoon, we're in this lovely junior school. We like doing schools. Secondary schools are interesting because when you go to a secondary school, what happens is you walk in and head teachers in secondary schools are obsessed to a strange degree with their school hall. And you walk in, they go, have you seen the hall? And you go, to be honest, I've seen thousands. And they say, you must come and see the hall. The parents made it themselves from egg boxes. It was a weed to be suffered. And you have to be excited by the hall. You have to go, well, I've seen some halls in my time, but that's the best. They go, no, that's the cupboard. Come and look at the hall. And I went to one place and they said, we'd like to show you the hall, but we can't. I said, oh, why not? And they said, there's a hole in the hall. And I thought, what a great phrase that is, the hole in the hall. So I've written a poem called The Hole in the Hall. And it's published by Oxford University Press. And the great thing about them is they pay you by the line. So what you do is, you write a short fat poem and cut it in half. That's what we poets call structure. I got £96 for this, shouldn't have spent it all on clothes, I realise on that hot day on Barnsley Market. Often during this one, somebody turns to their neighbour and says the words, it's too daft to laugh at, which is what my mother said about Bonanza, and that got a repeat. But I used to cry every week on Bonanza when they set fire to the map. And my mum would go, no, there'll be another map next week, and there always was. The younger people don't remember Bonanza, but it was a fantastic series. It's like a kind of morality play, and a widower with 3 sons. But who was the name of the Chinese cook? Ah, you see. I might tell you later on. Somebody remembered the name, didn't they? Pardon? He remembers Bonanza, but not the name of the cook. He's not a completist in Bonanza, but never mind. So, a true story. No, that wasn't his name. True story called The Hole in the Hall. And at the end people go, £96 for that. It's wrong. By the way, because we're amongst friends, I can tell you, I actually lost the book. This was printed in, so I had to write it out again in another book. It's called Letting Light In on Magic. It started just like any other day. We had assembly, we sang, we walked back to our rooms. The day the hall appeared in the hall. Suddenly, we heard a noise. We could no longer see the piano. The day the hall appeared in the hall. The head sent a girl to look. She never came back. I got her pencils. The day the hall appeared in the hall. The head sent a teacher to look. He never came back. I got his pencils. The day the hall appeared in the hall. So the head sent me to look. I never came back. I'm writing this from the hole in the hall with one of the pencils. To be honest, that's the best line. I wish it ended there, but it carries on. Aesthetically, it ends there. Economically, another £32.50. I'm sorry to tell you. Because that was the best bit. It does go down there. I'm writing this from the hole in the hall. Sometimes my parents stand at the edge, telling me to come home, out of the hole in the hall. But I'm happy in the hall. I've got to know the teacher. He's called Alan. I've got to know the girl. She's called Lucy. Sometimes I play the piano and we sing. Here we are in the hole in the hall. Having a ball in the hole in the hall. We'll never come out of the hole in the hall at all. £96 for that. Now the thing about that is, it's from a book. Oh, feel free to applaud. You don't ask me. Oh, it's so good. came from a thing. There used to be a fella called John Foster. He's still around, and he used to write to you as a poet, and he used to edit books, anthologies for children. So he'd say, look, I'm looking for poems for children about this or about that, and it was interesting. It was almost like being commissioned. So John Foster would write to you. Another fella called Paul Cookson, fantastic poet. I'd recommend him. He rang me up. He said, I'm doing a book of poems about elderly relatives. I said, what, grandmas and granddads? Because I'm a granddad. He said, I've got loads of poems about granddads. Can you go a bit further back? I thought, yes, I can. So I wrote this. It's called An Interesting Fact About One of My Relatives. My great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-granddad is very old. Amazing. I went to a school once and they said, we've adapted one of your poems for the mixed choir. I said, really? And that was the one. And they said, he's here. They went, 1, 2, 3. And they're all going, my great, great, great. And I had to stand there like Prince Philip going, yes, you're doing very, very well. So we got Paul Cookson, we got John Foster. Another editor is a man called Brian Moses. Nice man, lives in a basket. He once rang me up. That's too fast for some, but not for Coventry. Tell me not, they're on fire tonight. He rang me up and said, look, I'm doing a book of puzzle poems for infants. I said, puzzle poems? What's a puzzle poem? He said, well, you could have an acrostic down the side, you could have a hidden word in the middle. I thought, oh yeah, puzzle poems. That's what I'll do. So I wrote some, and me and Tony work a lot with infants. We grew up amongst them, but I found with infants, not everybody always gets that, Tony, and not tonight either, but I found that infants, when you work with them, they've always got really short memories. And infant teachers, as you know, they always speak very slowly, and they always wave their arms all the time. And they smile so as not to frighten the infants. And they stand there going, infants, at 9:05, walk in the hall and listen to the poet. And all the infants stand there going, ah. Because they've forgotten how to walk. It's 20 minutes since they walked. So the teacher holds a card up going, walk. And they go, that's no good, I can't read it, it's my first day. So the teacher has to show them how to walk with a fireman Sam doll. And they're all walking up and down, and they're all crying, and they're all sucking thumbs. Sometimes other people's thumbs. Sometimes they brought a big bag of thumbs from home to suck. That's not true, I made that up. And the teacher stood there, and they're trying to get him to sit down. And they're saying really sensible things like they're going, infants, would you sit down, please? The infant's going, sit down, what's that mean? I can't remember. So the teacher gets a megaphone and goes, infants, would you sit down, please? You can't leave till you're 16, you may as well get sat down. At this point, 1 or 2 sit down, but most don't. So then the infant teacher has to walk up and down each row of infants, pressing them down by the shoulders, going, they keep smiling, not to frighten, sit down. And because they're being pressed down, they're all like coiled springs. So after 10 minutes, they all start going, boing, 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 and smacking their heads on the ceiling. That's why the infants are always short. And then, 2 more things about infants. Infants have always just stopped crying, so they always make that noise. They sit there going, it's like performing to small dogs. Also, they're not used to being an audience. They think you're a DVD. They sit there looking at you and they're going, isn't he fat? He's fat, isn't he? And they put their hands up and they go, you're fat, aren't you, mister? And they pass your nose forward that say, you are fata, because they can't spell. And when you've gone, they do what they call follow-up work. They make a great big picture on the hall wall. And he said, today, a Fatamanan came to our Scolly Lord. He was quite through and wore a blue shatoto, and that's what they call emergent writing or something. Then the teacher comes in, and she's got your name on a piece of paper, but she can't find it, so she does the good mornings. Now with infants, as you know, the good mornings can last up to 4 hours, because they're all revving up like little under 90s. And they go, good morning, children, and they all go, good morning, everybody. And I went to one place, and they said good morning to all the teachers by name. It took a term and a half. They're going, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Mrs. Smith and Mrs. Jones and Mrs. Brown. Has anybody got a birthday? Yes, me. How old are you? I am 5, 1, 2, 3, points black. And then you start reading your poems. Because they're only 5, they can't understand them. But after 2 minutes, they always want to go to the toilet. But they can't say something sensible like, please may I leave the room. They've got their own little private word for toilet that works in their house, but not in public. So they put their hand up and say, excuse me, I'd like to visit the exciting chair. It's right, it's over there. Or they say, I'd like a number 38. It's well, it's outside the bus station. There's always one serious looking boy who stands up and says, I think it's time to try. You say, yes, I agree, my friend. It's time to try. And there's always one infant who wets themselves spectacularly. And they sat there like that, and then suddenly, for no apparent reason, the Pacific Ocean appears under the sea. And all the mates start swimming out, going, help, help. And they're all sat there going, it wasn't me. And they're going, of course it was you. And sometimes in posh schools, they have a school lifeboat sponsored by John West. And he comes out, the teacher's going, rescue him, for God's sake, he's worth money. And eventually, all the water disappears. You think, well, this is a disaster. What shall I try now? I know, I'll see if they've got any questions. And that's a mistake, because infants always think they've got a question, even when they haven't. And you go, any questions? They all go, and nobody knows why they make that noise. They go, I think the mums have left pins in the shirts, or sometimes they do that strange kind of keening noise where they're going, This will pass half an hour until the bus. And you point to one in the front row, you go, yes. And they go, Every time you point to them, they get their hand down. You get right round to one boy in the corner, and he's doing that, and all the teachers are going, don't ask him. Whatever you do, don't ask that boy. You think, well, I may as well, because life's too short. And you point to him, and he always says something that's not a question. You say yes. He says, do you know my dad? And you say no. He says, well, he's got his own wheelbarrow. You go, thank you very much. And then a snatch squad of non-teaching assistants take him out, and he's never seen again. But the thing with infants is, you must always tell them to put their hands down afterwards, or they keep their hands up the rest of the day. Or sometimes, in extreme cases, the rest of their lives. When I came through Coventry station this morning, there were small men walking about like this. And these were infants who weren't told to put their hands down before the sewage crisis. That's not true, I made that bit up. It's going well tonight, Tony, it's going well. So, this is... Anyway, he said, puzzle poems for infants. I said, well, what I'll do is, I wrote some of these poems. Then just for a joke, I got some nursery rhymes and swapped some of the words in the nursery rhyme for the word fish. Just for a laugh, and I sent it off. And he published them. I didn't mean to. This is now being studied in schools throughout Britain. It's part of the national curriculum. There's 2 schools in particular I went to where I hope they've studied them. One school me and Tony went to, down in Cambridgeshire, where the teacher was called Mrs. Daft, which is a fantastic name for a teacher. It's a common name in the Fens, apparently. And she ran with my wife, and my wife wrote the name down wrong on the pad. She put ring Mrs. Duft. So I said, can I speak to Mrs. Duft? She went, actually, it's Mrs. Daft. Now, being an old professional, I don't normally get the giggles, but I did. Mrs. Daft. All I want to know is how to get to your school from the station. She went, I'll get my husband, Dick. I thought, oh no, Dick Daft. Dick Daft, Private Eye. What a great name. So, I got to the school, I thought, if I don't say a name, I'll be all right. I said, hello, I'm here to work with the top class. She went, oh, you mean Mrs. Daft? And I couldn't stop laughing. And then we wanted a show in Cambridge, and she was in the audience. And I told that story, and she stood up and said, yes, it was me. Once in my life, I was stuck going, didn't Mrs. Daft? The other school I hope they're doing it at is a school down in Gloucestershire, not far from Newent, a little village called Picklenash. Picklenash Junior School. 17 kids in the school, 1 teacher. The school uniform was a t-shirt with a smiley face and the words, we love Picklenash. And they're all sat there with this, we love Picklenash. Teacher, we love Picklenash. Kids, we love... I did an hour and a half's poems, got no laughs at all. And at the end, the teacher stood up and said, well, children, we do lots of poetry in our school, and this gentleman's shown us a different way. And then they gave me a free Picklenash t-shirt, very kind, and threw it out at train window somewhere near Chepstow. So, I got some nursery rhymes, swapped some of the words for the word fish. It's meant to be daft and ridiculous, because the thing about this show is it's daft and ridiculous. I know you're not an infant, but you're the closest we've got tonight. So, I'm going to read out some of these poems. They're ridiculous and daft. Got a guess for the nursery rhyme. All right, just for the... Pardon? No! Can if you want. Righty. I'm talking fast because I told my wife I was only going to the shop. I love it here, it's great, isn't it? Great. So, the first one is easy for you. So I swapped some of the word in the nursery rhyme for the word fish. Jack and Jill, that's a clue. Jack and Jill went up the fish to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his fish, and fish came tumbling after. Jack and Jill, he's right. I was at school in Lancashire once. I did that, and the teacher stopped me and said, is that all you do? I said, yes. He said, is it all on that level? I said, I'm afraid so. He said, have you nothing else? I said, no. He said, it's not what I want. I said, it's all I've got. He said, you may as well go home. Great, I've got the deal. I do like working in Lancashire, but I find you can never get a cup of tea out of them. Because you go back to their house and they go, do you not want a cup of tea? You go, I don't know, you haven't asked me yet. Will you not be having a cup of tea? I don't know. Have you not had one? Not yet. I love the fact that when me and Tony travel the country, everywhere you go, people speak differently. And you almost get cross when they say, oh, I like your Coventry accent, as though there's only one. As though one end of Coventry is not a different accent to other end of Coventry. We're Yorkshire, always different. In Barnsley, we talk like this. 15 miles down the road in Sheffield, very, very different. We call them D-dads, because they put a hard dirt on the the. We go now then, they go now then. Now then, what are we doing? What are we doing with D-dad? My Uncle Jack, got some people from Sheffield at the back, excited to buy glassing winners. It's true, isn't it? It's true. It's true. I don't know, anyway, so, my Uncle Jack was from Sheffield. Proper D-dad, told a great D-dad joke that only works in Sheffield. Good night, if Dad gives you 4 coins, I can give you 4 towns. You're right, give him 4 coins, puts one on top of the other, and he goes Dublin. Then he moves them about, and he goes Altrincham. Then he goes like that, and he goes Oldham. Then he puts them in his pocket, and he goes Dundee. With that, he works in Sheffield. A lot of my relatives come from North Derbyshire, where they call their house their arse. It's fantastic. My Auntie Mabel used to say, I've just had double glazing fitted in my arse, Harry. I've got a detached arse, I've got an extension on my arse, it's a wooden and weird chimney. I was lost in West Bromwich. I says to this fellow, which way's the station? He says, you turn left at Toys Yamwee. I love it here, it's great. I'm not going to do anything. I'm glad you got City Culture. Stoke-on-Trent. Scoil, that's right, Scoil. Where are you from? Are you from here? I thought I saw him coming. This next one's a bit more difficult, but I think we'll be all right. Little fish horner. Start fish and fish. Eating a Christmas fish. He's fishing his fish and fish plum. I said fish. Ah, you have to wipe the book. Little Jack Horner, well done. I was at school once. I was at Little Jack Horner.
Little Jack Club.
Hey?
Little Jack Club.
It's like some kind of weird Channel 4 discussion. Little Jack Horner, don't you know that one? It's a tragic tale. Little Jack Horner, sat in a corner. Little Jack Horner, sat in a corner, eating a Christmas pie, pudding. He put his thumb, pulled out a plum, said about goodbye am I. There's not much plot to it. I was doing that in a school, this teacher, and nobody got it. This teacher went, I know that one. It made me laugh. Many years ago, I was invited to Eton College. The teacher was called Magnus Basharat. I remember that. I said, hello, my name's Magnus Basharat. I said, are you one of the workshop Basharats? He said, I teach at Eton College, and my boys are doing your poems for A-level. I said, oh, great. He said, can you come and read to us? I said, yeah. He said, what do you charge? So I thought, Eton College, so I tripled my fee. And he went, no, is that all? And I got there. It was years ago, my two girls, my two daughters were teenagers at the time, and they said, will Prince William be in the audience? Because it was when he was at that college. I said, yeah. He said, can you get his autograph? I said, I'll have a go. And Prince William sat in the front row, but I daren't lunge forward with my autograph book, because next to him, got the most obvious minder you've ever seen in your life, with a gun under his jacket. But this next one was the only one Prince William laughed at all night. I think he was laughing. He went, I said, are you all right? He said, that's how he laughs. He had a man to clap for him. That is true. He said, I enjoyed that. Bring down the underclapper and the overclapper. It's quite hard, this one, being that you don't know any nursery rhymes, but there's three key words. Help him out. There's three key words. Fish. There's not any of the key words. Fish. Wall. Fish. Great. Don't tell him. Fish. Fish. And fish. Again. No. Humpty Dumpty. You're right. Encourage the young man with a round of applause. Well done, sir. Well done. I've never had anybody not guess any of them in 35 years. That's good. That's great. City Culture. I'm a very unusual Barnsley man. In that I make my living through talking, because most Barnsley men hardly ever speak. I was in the barbers recently, not for a while. They call our barber Mad Jeff, because he wears a bow tie. That denotes madness in Barnsley. And the barbers was full, and I was sat in Jeff's, and this man put his head round the door, and he went, ah, and Jeff went, no, and he went, right, and he went out again. And if you could translate that into standard English, it would be, hello, barber, could you fit me before 3:30? No, as you can see, I've got a shop full, sir. Right, then I'll call back later on this afternoon, my good man, or perhaps tomorrow morning. But it's reduced to no, right, because we don't like to talk. And also, when Barnsley people meet each other on the street, they don't say hello, that'd be a waste of breath. They just do a slight sideways movement of the head. So they meet each other and they go, in fact, I'm doing too much there because I'm excited, it's less than that, it's just... In fact, it's less than that, it's simply... True, isn't it? You've been to go, but that's how they are. When something bad happens to a person from Barnsley, they come out with the Barnsley existential cry of despair, where they go, ee. Often accompanied by shrug. There's that very old Barnsley joke that you all know about the man whose wife died, and he wanted the words, she was thine, put on the gravestone, and the stonemason got it wrong and put, she was thin. And he went back and he says, you've missed off the E. So he went back a week after that and put, E, she was thin. What a great gag. So, well done that one, Tony. So, this bit, we're all joining now because the interactive bit in a minute involves a bit of joining in, so involves a bit of joining in. So what happens is, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, and we all go E. Or sometimes happens is nobody joins in, it's really embarrassing. And they go 1, 2, 3, 4, and they go, no. What's worse than that is one person says it on their own, that's really sad. They go 1, 2, 3, 4, they go, yeah, they have to go and start a new life in Loughborough, which can be done. With the aid of coconut oil and crowbars. So, I'll give you a couple of seconds to say to each other, I'll say if you'll say it, go on, then we may as well, it's Wednesday, gateway to the weekend. We're in Coventry, City Culture. Let's have a go. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, we go E. Bit of throat clearing, that's always a good sign. It's the old projectile throat clearing, I don't like mentioning no names, Scunthorpe. Let's have a go. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, we go E. In harmony, please, because we are in Coventry. Home of man. Let's have a go. 1, 2, 3, 4. E. Very good, very good. There was a nanosecond of hesitation. The people went, God. Some people didn't join in because they thought it gave them a kind of dignity. But in fact, they looked after not joining in, so that's okay. I'm on the radio quite a lot. Got me on show on Radio 3 on a Friday night. The Verb, it starts again this Friday with a show recorded last night at the Proms. When I first started on the radio, my mother used to insist that my dad listened in a separate room on a different radio because she thought he put the ratings up. That's sad, but she thought the BBC was a big bank of red lights, one more for Millan. My dad was in a wheelchair, she used to push him into the room. Get in there, how are you, John? Take them 5 radios with you. But when I first started, I was on local radio, Radio Sheffield. And at Radio Sheffield, they had the world's oldest coffee machine. I didn't realise when coffee machines were first invented, you didn't get a paper cup. You put your money in, you had to provide your own cup. And in very small letters at Radio Sheffield, it says, put cup under first. And I always forgot. And I put my money in, and instead of getting a cup of coffee, I got coffee, which is slightly different. And this hot coffee hits you on the hand. And if you're from anywhere else in the world, you go, oh dear me, hot coffee on the hand. Because you're from Barnsley, you go, E. No bad news. So, when we've gone E, we have to go, drinks machines, I've never been keen on drinks machines. Let's try it. You won't feel silly, you'll feel a certain je ne sais quoi. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, we go drinks machines, I've never been keen on drinks machines. Let's have a go, just for the joy, It's a joyous thing, it's full of joy. Let's have it. 1, 2, we saw more tickets than the Deep Purple tribute band. Haven't they? You were checking, weren't you? It's true, yeah, fantastic. Excellent, let's have a go. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, we go drinks machines, I've never been keen on drinks machines. Let's have it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Drinks machines, I've never been keen on drinks machines. Very good. I used to work in a tennis ball factory in Barnsley with a man who made his own false teeth out of wood. He said, if it's all right for George Washington, it's all right for me. What he actually said was, it's all right for me, because he ain't quite fit. And he used to do that fantastic thing where he'd do if he, all right for George what? He'd do it, all right for me. So if you want to go drink machine, you can do. I do find the old comedy whistling, yes, it's great if you're being told off by a superior. I find it deflates the situation. If they go, look, I'm really annoyed with you, you go, I'm sorry. I apologise profoundly and profusely for my misdemeanour. That's my wife ringing up till I've got the house key. And I won't go. Let's do it. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, we go drinks machine, put the two together. I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, we go E, drinks machine, Humpty Dumpty. I've never been keen on drinks machine. See, it fell off the wall, didn't it? Let's try. Put the E with the thing. Sounding great, sounding good. This room's good acoustic. Click them all in. 1, 2, 3, 4. E! Drinks machines, I've never been keen on drinks machines. Good. It's like going to asthma clinic, isn't it? So, you do the chorus, I'll do the verse. We'll do the verse if you want, but you don't know it. Nothing would happen, you don't be mouths, nothing would come out. Like living in somewhere not here. Let's have a go. So we'll start with the chorus. This again to get us in the interactive mood for the interactive cartoonist that we're going to be making very soon. Start with the chorus. 1, 2, 3, 4. E! Drinks machines, I've never been keen on drinks machines. Coffee, tastes like mud, it was ground this morning, so it should. Insert coins, coins return. Insert coins, coins return. Cup drops down, fingers burn. Why do I never learn? E, spilt all my flipping tea. Time for the chorus. E, drinks machines, I've never been keen on drinks machines. 1p, 2p, 5p, 10, 20p, 50, start again. White, black, extra white, normal wit, it tastes like dirt. E, drinks machines, I've never been keen on drinks machines. You can get chocolate, you can get pop, don't press that button, it won't stop. Dripping, spilling, slopping, slipping, sliding, screaming, diving, swimming in a sea of chocolate soup, last time for the chorus. E, drinks machines, I've never been keen on drinks machines. Well joined in, we'll do one more joiner in just to get us in the mood, and then we'll start to create the interactive thing. You're joining in very well, which is part of the thing. My little grandson Noah, he's 18 months old, and I've just introduced him to the delights of Postman Pat. He loves the Postman Pat books. And the people here who've read the Postman Pat books will know every Postman Pat book, no happens at all. They're like kind of Samuel Beckett play, nothing happens. Postman Pat goes out, he delivers the letter. That's the end of the book. Sometimes he loses the letter, Mrs. Goggins finds it in her slippers and posts it for him. You think, I could write them books. I met the man who wrote Postman Pat, John Cunliffe, lovely fella. You must never say to him, hello John, made a lot of money out of Postman Pat, because he gets really cross. Because when he signed the contract for the books and the films, they went, what about the merchandising? And he went, no, you're all right. So all those years of Postman Pat tea towels, he never got a penny. He made sure he did with Rosie and Jim, so he's financially secure. We don't need to worry about him. But I thought I could write some sequels to Postman Pat and become rich, and I've written 4 about his brothers. Yes. That sounded like my Auntie Mabel's last noise. She went, huh? Just before she went under the tractor. That's where we kept her Toblerones. Yes. So, I've written the 4 sequels, just the songs. And the first one is Milkman Jim. And he goes, Milkman Jim, his favourite milk is semi-skim. Let's try it. So I'll go, well, ladies and gentlemen, who we come to see today? And you'll go, Milkman Jim. And I'll go, let's sing the Milkman Jim song. And you'll go, Milkman Jim, his favourite milk is semi-skim. Just for the joy that's in it. I know it's ridiculous, but that's how we go. I've come out, I'm going to come from behind the flip chart. In this fancy fashion. We're in a theatre. Well, ladies and gentlemen, who we come to see today?
Milkman Jim.
You're right, let's sing the Milkman Jim song. Milkman Jim, his favourite milk is semi-skimmed. If there are children in the audience, which there aren't today, we always get a child out to wave at that point, just for my own amusement. You know? The next one is Postman Pete. And he goes, Postman Pete gave up the job because he had bad feet. Let's try that. Me and Tony were down in Cornwall, a place called Mullans, at the edge near the Lizard. Lovely gig like tonight. Fell on the front row having a great time till this point. I went, Postman Pete gave up the job because he had bad feet. This bloke walked out. He went, that's just not fair. Turned out it was the village postman who got the sack because he couldn't get around the round. I said, look, you can't take everybody in the room, can you? Let's try. So it's Postman Pete gave up the job because he had bad feet. Let's try. I'm going to go out from the idea again. Well, ladies and gentlemen, who are we going to see today? You're right, let's sing the Postman Pete song. Postman Pete gave up the job because he had bad feet. City of culture, you see, they can't stop. Next one is Bin Man Bill. You're getting more complicated now. Bin Man Bill. Why'd you keep repeating? Pin Man Bill. That'd be Pin Man Pete because we're working on alliterative stuff.
That's where you've been.
It's not exactly where you've been. You can do it on the road, couldn't you, Johnny? Do it on the road. Anyway, Bin Man Bill. He goes, Bin Man Bill, puts a very, very, very big lorry up a very, very, very big hill, a very, very long, very, very way down. Again, let's try that. I know it's ridiculous. Let's have a go. You sing Pin Man Bill if you want. Or you sing Big Man. I know I go, it sounds great. Just to get, pardon? Where have you been? That's what he said. I like the way the joke travels across. It's like the international date line. Starts here, comes over here tomorrow afternoon. Fantastic. City culture. Let's have a go. Pardon? Mr. Siano, that's what he just said. Let's do that gag that always gets a laugh, Tony. While they're all doing gags. I've packed up my job at the helium balloon factory. I'm not having people talking to me like that. What do the Yorkshmen do when they run out of sellotape?
I don't know.
You buy gum. Right, sorry, I'm just enjoying myself too much. Right, so it's Bin Man Bill puts a very, very big lorry up a very, very, very big hill and very, very down a very, very long way again. So Bin Man Pete, whatever you want to say. Well, ladies and gentlemen, who have we come to see today? You're right. Let's sing the Bin Man Bill song. Bin Man Bill, puts a very, very big lorry up a very, very big hill along a very, very, very long way. Very good. The final one is Bath's Attendant Ronald.
No, very, 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 very.
And he goes, Bath's Attendant Ronald, Bath's Attendant Ronald, Bath's Attendant Ronald in his black and white striped trunks. Early in the morning, he puts in the chlorine. Let's try that. When we do this in schools, we have to explain what a Bath's Attendant is after 8 years of austerity, but let's have a go. Anybody else come? You've clicked to me. Yeah, that's good. When she goes home, she has to click herself back in house. Bath's Attendant Ronald. It's just warm here, it's warm. Well, ladies and gentlemen, who are we coming to see today? You're right. I like the way you all did it at different times. Let's sing the Bath's Attendant Ronald song. Bath's Attendant Ronald, Bath's Attendant Ronald, Bath's Attendant Ronald in his black and white striped trunks. Early in the morning. What's he putting? He puts in the chlorine. Well, Johnny, can I introduce my companion, Mr. Tony Husband, one of Britain's leading cartoonists? Yes, because of that as well. Mr. Tony Husband. One of Britain's leading cartoonists within his price range. Tony has worked for many papers. He used to do a daily cartoon for the Times. That's the London Times, not the Workshop Times. He's done cartoons for the Sunday Express, for the Sun, for what else, Tony? Private Eye, yeah. Well, if anybody reads the Yobs in Private Eye, Tony does the Yobs in Private Eye. What else? The Spectator, the Oldie. None of these will read that. Playboy, that's right. I only read it for the magazines, for the cartoons. That's right. As you can see, Tony's drawing the magnificent building that we're in tonight. Magnificent. It used to be the Technical College. It used to be called, what was it called? Coventry Technical College. The Butts Technical College. A resonant name, a resonant name. So, I've got my pen here. Beryl Drywipe. Nice girl. I knew her sister. So, we're going to pretend it's midnight in the Butts Technical College. Don't write it down, everything you say. Sometimes you get a budgie trapped in these pens that speaks to you from beyond the budgie grave. That may or may not happen tonight. Here we go. It speaks. Midnight. I bet local people call it the Butts. They did. Rather than the whole thing of the Butts Technical College, which has got quite long rhythmically. It's like we had to do one in Asphodel as Hooks Farmer Miners' Welfare. I mean, it's got enough windows there. Midnight in the Butts. We said that 3 times. It's got a lovely rhythm, that. I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. We go midnight in the Butts. Pardon? Could do it times 3, so we've got loads of time. You don't have to do that, it's fine. We're going to go midnight in the Butts, midnight in the Butts, midnight in the Butts. We'll give it a bit of gravitas. I know the word Butts doesn't have a lot of gravitas, but when we say it, it will. It'll have gravitas. Let's have a go. You know, Tony? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Midnight in the Butts! Midnight in the Butts! Midnight in the Butts! Oh, the way it raises, that rhythm is fantastic. I think it needs a ooh. It is ooh. Ooh. Oh, I see a Leeds United at home again. Let's try that. So it's midnight in the Butts, followed by an ooh. Let's try that because the ooh is very important tonight. Sounding good, this sounding great. Save your tickets, because in years to come, people will pretend they were here who weren't. They'll say, we were there that night. They made up the interactive cartoon history of the Butts, because you were there. Let's have a go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Midnight in the Butts! Midnight in the Butts! Midnight in the Butts! Ooh! The ooh is great. So, bear in mind that we're making this up. Right, this is not a piece of local history. Sometimes we do these things in village halls and people post us books of local history and we're honour bound contractually to throw the books of local history on the fire because it's made up. So, what might we see or hear at midnight in the Butts, perhaps looking back to when this was a technical college? What might we see or hear? Any ideas? I find with this that telepathy is no good. Drunken students, a particular drunken student. Let's think of some. And they have a 1950s drunken student. Eric. The drunken student. There he is. As you can see, both eyes look into different parts of Coventry. His quiff is failing. He's got a bottle of real ale. His quiff's like that. He's got a hole in his quiff. An old traditional song. Eric, the drunken student. Now let's pretend something terrible happened to Eric, the drunken student, during his drunken time. He was attacked by a fox. We're making it up. That's not true. You're right to shout what, but we are making it up. Well, he always wears them shoes. Eric, the drunken student, was attacked by a fox. That's good. There's the fox. Coming over. It's a flying fox. It's not really just in a different part of the page. It's a flying fox. Eric the drunken, that's great. Look at that, Tony. It's got an edge of, hey, Eric the drunken student was attacked by a fox. I know tonight in the room we've got 1 or 2 people who like to write poems. This is our challenge for the next bit. Eric, kept several owner-occupiers in the room, 1 or 2 with jobs, not my normal crowd. I think we can think of a rhyme or half rhyme for student. So it goes, Eric the drunken student was attacked by a fox. There must be a rhyme or half rhyme for student that fits the point. Prudent, very good. Eric the drunken student was attacked by a fox. Fun? Not easy to draw, prudent, that's true. He was feeling rather prudent. Eric the drunken student was attacked by a fox. He was feeling rather prudent. He's got to rhyme with fox. Say again. Box, that's good, but just one word on it, so it doesn't seem to help. He couldn't find his box. Tony couldn't find his box. That's the sacred box of the butts. It is indeed the butts box. Aha. His coffee. It's dark. Eric the drunken student was attacked by a fox. He was feeling rather prudent because he couldn't find his box. This is good. Sometimes they don't have this kind of narrative depth and subtlety that this one has. For example, when me and Tony were in a place near Boston, Lincolnshire called Old Leek, little village hall, I said, right, Old Leek, what can you tell me about Old Leek? This bloke on the front row put his hand up, he said, it's not Old Leek, it's Old Leek. I said, oh, I'm sorry, what can you tell me about Old Leek? And he went, it's unique. I said, oh. So we all think they went, Old Leek is quite unique. So there you see, look, there's the box in the graveyard that used to be at the back of the college years ago. Let's try the whole thing from the start. Pardon? There's a tidal wave, Tom. What is that tidal wave? It's a tree. I'm glad she's not a weather forecaster, that's all I can say. As bad as Michael Fish. And a tree's falling. No, it's all right, it's not a tidal wave. Make it look more like a tree, Tony. It looks like my Uncle Frank now. Anyway, let's have a go. Start from the beginning, midnight at the boats. I think the tidal wave could come into it. There we go. Of course, you're getting scared of this. They're not often this dark. Anyway, let's have a go. Start with midnight at the boats. This is great. Tell you what, let's declare today. I've been jokes. Let's declare today, 12th of September, apostrophe Amnesty Day. Let's put a few in. Because in the end, it don't matter. Nobody dies. I love it when people go, I'm cleverer than that gross, because I know where the apostrophe goes in tomatoes. I think, well, get a line. Of course, it don't matter, they're dying out. Let's have a go. Start midnight in the books. After 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Midnight in the butts! It's midnight in the butts! It's midnight in the butts! Ooh! Who's that I see? Eric, the drunken student, was attacked by a fox. He was feeling rather prudent because he couldn't find his box. This is great. As we can see, it's not just any box, it's his coffee. We'd write it up.
Eric started coughing.
That's good.
He felt a wave of nausea.
He felt a wave of nausea. Best of luck with the rhyme for that one, legend. The Albany of Coventry, City of Culture 2021.
Get some applause here.
That's good as well. Eric felt some nausea. Best of luck, Tony. Eric felt some nausea. There's Eric, look, he thinks at first it's the effect of the drink he had, but we know it's darker forces at work. It's like you're going to be sick, Tony. He's going to be sick. He's being sick, Tony. That's it sooner. He's going to be sick. That's not a tidal wave. He's going to be sick. Oh no, poor old Eric. Eric felt some nausea.
As he looked towards the comet.
As he looked towards the comet. We can see what's coming later. We can see what's coming. As he looked towards the comet, there's a rhyme coming down the tunnel. We can see the light. We'll get the applause here in a minute. Eric felt some nausea as he looked towards the comet. That's good.
That comet is closed.
Pardon?
That comet is closed.
Going to close, that's true. It'll be BHS. No, they've gone, no. Woolworths. Eric felt some nausea as he looked towards the comet. There was a burst of applause here. And then he started to vomit, that's right. This is great. Then Exactly, silly sod, that's what we are. So I've been living for 30 years. Then he started to vomit. Because we're mainly adults in the room tonight, we don't mind the word vomit, do we? We're all right with the word vomit. Then he started to vomit. So let's tell the whole thing from the start. Because the thing with these epics, when we do them, we have to keep going back to the start, because to get the rhythm, to get the proper thing, that's not part of it. I'm going to go out, I'm going to come in, and pretend that I'm a visitor from a far land. I'm going to go, I'm a visitor from a far land, and know not where I've been or what time it is, and you go midnight in the Bronx. Don't click me out, I'm coming back. I'm a visitor from a far land, and know not where I've been or what time it is. Well, it's midnight in the bus. Midnight in the bus. Midnight in the bus. Ooh. Who's that? Eric, the drunken student, was attacked by a fox. He was feeling rather prudent, because he couldn't find his box. He felt some nausea as he looked towards the comet. There was a burst of applause here. Then he started to vomit. Now, it's getting very dramatic, but we have to think back to the box. The box. Remember the box? Turn the box again, Tony. The box. Yeah, it's time to dance. Come on. Please don't go. Please don't go.
Come back.
I love it when people leave the room as though they're not leaving the room. My favourite one is when they bow their head and think they become invisible. That'll be good. Now she comes back.
She was desperate.
I know she was desperate. We're all desperate. Anyway. There's the box. So it's a coffin, as we can see. So let's look at the coffin. The box was Eric's coffin. But when I read ethical, Eric looks like evil. Yes, it does. It does. All right, coffin looks like in Olethen, a small town in the Borders. The box was Eric's coffin. Now, Eric's not dead, so why is he in his coffin? I think it's a kind of premature thing of his death. He didn't want it yet. He opened it, saw nothing. This is great. I wish people further back from the first row would join in. Not just run out of the room. But there you go. What was the line you said? I've forgotten. What was it? He didn't want it yet. I'm glad you write it all down. The box was Eric's coffin. He didn't want it yet. This is great. What was the next bit? He opened it. There was nothing. This is great. Has she gone? Has she gone? Click her in. He opened it. They're not from this dark, are they, Tony? He opened it. There was nothing. There's Eric, look. I bet you always said that. He's on the coffin. As you can see, let's pretend that when he sees the coffin, it's like that one in Christmas Carol. It's got his name on it. Maybe it says Eric on the coffin. Just write the word Eric on the coffin lid. Mind you can't see it. Eric is there. And he opens it and there's nothing in it. Wow. The box was Eric's coffin. He didn't want it yet. He opened it. There was nothing.
But a silver jumbo jet.
But a silver jumbo jet! That's right! That's a silver jumbo jet! Yes, that's right, Tony! It's a matter of perspective, Tony, a matter of perspective. This is so cool.
A little tiny one.
Well, but it's obviously a tiny one, thank you for that. Yes. Tony Husband, the reason I love working with Tony Husband is that, as you can see, he's a kind of cartoon genius who can respond. We have never got any idea what's going to happen. We always start off with the midnight bit. We don't know what's going to happen after that. Which is getting rather complicated now. Rather complicated. You'll sign the books for him, won't you, Tony? Yeah. You certainly will. Right, let's have a go. Come in again. Drink the water. Boudica. I knew it was ancient. Better than tea, that. Right. This time, I'll pretend to be Scottish. I am a I'm a traveller! I'm glad you were here, because nobody else thought that was funny, but you did. That's great humour. I'm a traveller from a far land. I know not where I am, nor what time it be. Well, it's midnight!
In the bus. Midnight in the bus. Midnight in the bus.
Who's that?
Eric, the drunken student,
was attacked
by a fox.
He was feeling rather prudent, because he couldn't find his box. Eric felt some nausea as he looked towards the comics. There was a burst of applause here. Then he started to vomit. The box was Eric's coffee. He didn't want it yet. He opened it. There was nothing but a silver jumbo jet. So the question is, silver jumbo? Yes, sir.
Excuse me.
Yes.
I'd like to, in the 1950s, there wasn't any jumbo jets.
That's true.
But we can dream.
We can dream. You're right. Don't destroy this young man's dreams, sir. You're right. There were no jumbo jets in the 1950s. Shall we do, Tony? We'll carry on. We'll carry on through the power of theatre. You're right. Go on. Anyway, go on. It's okay.
It's jumbo as in large, not jumbo as in
Well, I knew that. He didn't. This means a big jet. Anyway, I knew a big jet. City of culture. So, what is the... I've never said this sentence before, and I'm 62 years old. What was the significance of the jumbo jet in the coffin?
You've got a fear of flying.
You've got a fear of flying.
Yeah, so he knew his fear of flying.
Would have killed him. He had a fear of flying, Eric. That's why he got drunk. Perhaps tomorrow he's flying off from Coventry International Airport. He had a fear. Anyway, Eric had a fear of flying. So the coffin, the jumbo jet, there weren't any jumbo jets in those days, just a big jet. The big jet in the coffin was a kind of sign, portent. That's why he gone out and got drunk, scared of setting off. It all makes sense. Eric had a fear of flying. The next line doesn't have to rhyme with flying yet, because as you can see we're rhyming it A-B-A-B. One of my favourite bands, I know that's happened.
He wasn't flying yet.
That's good. Hey, right yet.
You can't have it again.
No, you've already had that.
Yeah, we'll have another one. You're right to intervene, sir. You had no ideas of his own, he told you
He
what.
put it in as well.
He gets drunk to forget.
Well, his holiday was soon.
You get drunk to forget, that's good. It makes him a tragic figure. And he had a fear of flying. He gets drunk to forget. What a shame we can't have a kind of country music workshop. He gets drunk to forget. And he had a fear of flying. He gets drunk to forget. It's got to rhyme with flying.
Even the fox was crying.
Even the fox was crying. That lady's been listening to the whole thing and remembers there was a fox in an earlier verse. We like an attentive
Just want to
crowd.
see a picture of a fox again.
Even the fox was crying. This is great. Oh, God almighty, this is fantastic. Can we get Chris Eccleston? Even the fox. There's a fox, so the fox is crying. Oh, God. Oh, dear, Eric's crying.
Fox having a drink.
Fox having a drink, but he's crying.
Cried into his drink.
Can't see it.
Pardon? They both got rather wet. That's what they call bathos. Eric had a fear of flying. He gets drunk to forget. Even the fox was crying. They both got rather wet. This is great. They're not normally this complex, are they, Tony? No. The box was Eric's coffin. He didn't want it yet. He opened it. There was nothing but a silver jumbo jet asterisk. Jumbo jets weren't around yet. Eric had a fear of somebody going out because the phone's ringing. Eric had a fear of flying. He gets drunk to forget. Even the fox was crying. They both got rather wet. So, he's got a barmaid. And if in doubt, he always draws a barmaid. So, we're moving towards the climax of this tale. Something happens now. So, let's just recap. I think I want to know, really, where Eric's going. It's something to do with the book's technical code. Something to do with it. Remember, it all started here. And he's off, he don't want to fly somewhere. So there's something about me. We're making this up, we can't get it wrong. It could be an engineering student. He invented the jumbo jet, which wasn't around. That's a good idea. Eric said, I've got a great idea. The fox said, what is that? Eric said, I've got a great idea. The fox said, what is that? It's got to rhyme with idea and be germane to the narrative of the epic. I've got to get off. I want to see what happens.
This could further my career.
This could further my career. Right. See, that's what I mean. It's dragging the jumbo jet. This could further my career. This is great.
Mass travel is where it's at.
Mass travel is where it's at. Jesus Christ, this is good tonight. This is great. This could further my career. Oh, it's so good. Mass travel is where it's at. Go on. It helps when you got people in the audience who write poems. I can tell you. Can't have think of rhymes. This afternoon, the kids in the school said, so what we're doing a poem about something. I said, so what rhymes with house? And this kid went, dog. Yeah, put it in, because I never refuse on. Just put it in, put it in. Start from the beginning. I think, I could be wrong, but I think we could sing this. I didn't think so at first, but the more I think about it, the more it feels like a kind of country song. Eric, the drunken student, was it? Let's try it. We'll sing it. I'm going to go out and come in. We're not singing this rest of it. We'll do the rest of it.
We got through it, that's right.
All Elvis's songs can be sung to the tune of Il Crimo About Tat. That is a fact. Well, bless me soul, what's wrong with me? But it can't, it is a bit like Rudolph Red. Right, so we go. Gotta be enjoying this. Glad I gave up the male modelling. Right, let's try. Done? Sorry? All your cars have been stolen. I'm going to bring this in, this primitive Coventry instrument. I'm going to accompany us on it. The honeymoon was spent at home. Righty. God, I love it. It's great. Right, Tony? I'll tell you what, this time, it's like having a shower in a cheap hotel. I'm going to pretend to be a Lancashire man, excited by people with shoes on their feet. Hello. Hello. I'm a not a traveller from a far land. Where I don't know where I am. Know what time it is. Well, it's midnight in the butts. Midnight in the butts. Midnight in the butts. Right, don't start singing it. I'll do four. I'll go. Oh, I forgot that bit. I'll go. I'll do four of these. I'll go. Then we'll sing it.
Midnight in the books.
He's so keen. You know what I did on Friday? We're at a place called Whitechapel near Preston. Barnsley put up to be City of Culture in 2013 when Londonderry got it. And their idea was that we had to wear these t-shirts that said Barnsley City of Culture, me and the leader at council. And they got these t-shirts that would have fitted my 18-month-old grandson. So we stood like these badly fitting t-shirts, stood in front of Tripe Store on Barnsley Market. It said Barnsley City of Culture bid. Me and this bloke in tight-fitted shirts in front of Tripe Store, we didn't get the job. Right, so I'll do four of these and we'll sing it. You all know the tune anyway, so that's fine. Eric, the drunken student, was attacked by a fox. He was feeling rather brooding, but he couldn't find his box. No, he couldn't find his box. And he felt some nausea as he looked towards the cottage. He was about the nausea, and then he started to vomit. Oh, then he started to vomit. The box was Eric's coffin. He didn't want it yet. He opened it, there was nothing but a silver jumbo jet. Now jumbos weren't invented at the time we're singing. Eric had a feeling of flying. He gets drunk to forget. Well, even the fox was crying. They both got rather wet. Oh yes, they both got rather wet. When we get to the end, we'll fade it out on that. We'll do it about 4 times. We'll go, Mass Travellers where it's at. Mass Travellers where it's at. We'll fade it out, fade it out. Shall we try that? Brilliant cartoons, too. Eric said, I've got a great idea. The fox said, what is that? This could further my career. Mass travel is where it's at. Mass travel is where it's at. Mass travel is where it's at. Where it's at. Yeah. Round of applause. Very good indeed. Another round of applause for a genius cartoonist, Mr. John Hilton. Mr. John Hilton. We will present this to the festival. We can type it out. This can become the official festival song. We sing every morning. If anybody wants any of Tony's cartoons, come and have a look. How much tonight, Tony? 200? 150? No, free to a good home. If anybody like him, he'll sign him for you. Could you look after this for me, sir? Good man. One more round of applause for me and Tony. Let's go.